ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start in just a few minutes. The chairman's coming in just a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll call the Subcommittee Resource Management to order, and I turn it over to Chairman Corbett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Bring before you this afternoon a substitute to House Bill 570, LC 520965S. Is that what we have? I'm going to just give a quick summary of what the bill does, Mr. Chairman. It clarifies that international designations and recommendations are non-binding in Georgia unless approved by the General Assembly. It prevents state and local agencies from using international labels as a basis for land use restrictions, permit delays, or regulatory enforcement. It reinforces constitutional private property protections, preserves Georgia's authority over land use, zoning, and environmental policy. What this bill does not do, it does not oppose conservation, does not prohibit voluntary participation by private landowners, does not conflict with federal law or treaties, and does not restrict the authority of the federal government. That's what the bill does and what the bill does not do. So if there are any questions, little history on this. We had a meeting down in my district over the weekend. They're in the process of trying to get the Okefenokee, declared a World Heritage Site. So they had a town hall meeting, and people, representatives from UNESCO was there. And I got up and I asked them, many states have passed legislation similar to this. I think it'd be very helpful to the landowners around the swamp and give them some peace of mind if this legislation is passed. They had no issue with it. And Michael Luss, who's the federal wildlife fish and game guy down there, he stopped me after a meeting and he said he thought it'd be a good idea if we did this. So that's why we went ahead and brought the bill forward. So I think it helps clarify some things, just make sure that any regulations that happens in Georgia comes through us.
All righty, Mr. Chairman, got a couple of questions here. Representative Davis.
Thank you, Chairman. My question, does United Nations and the ones that you listed have any power anyway in the United States?
If you read in the bill, it says they have non-binding, but more and more, there's some states are using finding that they have as reasons to pass regulations. So let's just say that we don't rely on that designation only from that international organization. It has to be legislation that we passed.
Okay, a follow-up. I was checking, and this is, I asked Legislative Council, is this a preemption bill? And for the people, my cities and counties, one thing I promised them is that I would send bills that could be in the category of a preemption bill to them, especially when it's on lines 87 to 89, when it says that any person adversely affected shall have standing to seek declarative and injunctive relief.
That's just basically, they can't do a taking without compensating the person that owns that private property. It's just, basically, there was a process going on last year where, and Chair Lady Smith could probably help me with the, is it inverse or reverse condemnation? Inverse condemnation, basically taking property without compensating the landowner. This just says they can't do that. If you're going to take my property or your property, whoever's property, it's just a private property protection measure.
Well, I pretty much can agree with you on a number of the things in here. Only thing is, for preemption bills, I need to clear it with my counties and cities.
And that's fine. I don't think it would affect your city at all. So, yes,
Yeah.
no problem.
All right, thank you, Ms. Representative Davis. Representative Renner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to be clear that this protects the swamp.
Absolutely. That's federal property, so it doesn't affect that designation at all. And like I say, the representatives from UNESCO in that meeting, I point blank asked them, other states have passed this to make sure they protect private property outside of that's going to be designated as a World Heritage Site. So that's what this is on. It doesn't affect the federal property.
Representative, Madam Chairman.
Thank you for this bill, and thank you to committee members for having correctly read the announcement. So I'm glad everybody's here. To me, are we specific? Is there language in here specific to the Okefenokee?
Yeah.
Well, so.
No, it's not specific to that. It's for any, we understand any private property, not just there.
I was just wondering if, since it applies everywhere, I guess the debate would be, do they want this language in another state or another county? I mean, the debate's the Okefenokee. We're passing something.
We did, and that's where this was brought forth from around that, but it will apply to any private property. It could apply to Middle Georgia, North Georgia, anywhere where they come in and use international designation or whatever. It doesn't affect private property rights unless the legislature passed. They can't use it as a reason to be able to take somebody's property.
So just to clarify for the people who are listening or trying to understand it, we have a situation in Georgia that right now concerns the Okefenokee, but is it not true that if anyone else any other Georgia and U.S. citizen, this would apply to them, but it protects all property owners? So no inverse condemnation, no takings with no compensation of property.
Yeah, Madam Chair, that is correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Chairman Dickey.
Thank you, Chairman. Looking at the bill and reading it, thank you for the bill. I think it's very much needed, but you keep referring to international organizations. What about a national organization? Why would we not include a national organization as well as an international?
That's a good question, but this deal with United Nations, World Health Organization, those organizations. It does not address any national organizations, but that is a good question.
I mean, I would worry that some, as in line 68, some state agency or local government could enter into agreement with a national organization that would do the same thing as an international organization. I mean,
see your
I'm
point.
not an attorney. Paul's here. I mean, I would like to almost do an amendment to add national organization.
And I would be open to a friendly amendment, Mr. Chairman. And what line were you looking at?
Well, I think it refers to international a couple of times. I know on line 74, 70, and then maybe over on the first page, I think I saw, or somewhere I saw it again. But I think I think some other organizations could have the negative impact as an international.
And you're very
I know
familiar,
59.
very familiar with the issue we had with the roundup being the one report from international organization. You know, they use that to try to ban that when there's hundreds of test results in the United States that prove otherwise. But I'll be open to amendment. Yes.
Thank you, Chairman Corbett. Chairman Dickey, why don't we ask Mr. Paul to make a comment down here? Paul, what's yours, 10?
Yeah, yes, Chairman. So the way the bill is currently organized, there's a defined term on lines 35 through 38 for the term international organization. It means a formal entity established by a treaty or international agreement between two or more sovereign states. Such term includes, but is not limited to, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, or the World Health Organization. So currently, the bill is aimed at, well, international organizations, organizations that at least two different countries have agreed to become a part of. So certainly it could be changed to apply to domestic organizations that are simply formed here in the United States. I would just, that would be a very broad net to cast, and you know, if that's the desire of the committee, that's fine. I have no opinion one way or the other about that. Just, you know, a lot of different organizations come to mind: the American Bar Association, the NCAA. I mean, anything you can think of. I mean, pretty much any organization that's based in the United States and doesn't fall under the definition of an international organization could come within that scope. That would be a policy question as to if that's the scope that's desired, or if there's a desire for it to be a more limited scope, as opposed to what the bill currently does, which is just deal with organizations that involve at least two different sovereign countries.
All right, thank you, Mr. Paul. Mr. Dickey, Chairman Dickey, you want to make a comment?
Thank you, Paul, for that. It just came to my mind of that. I mean, I think Arthur can do what he wants to. Well, maybe we ought to pass this and then maybe look into my question a little further with maybe another bill or something to better understand. I wouldn't want to do anything to jeopardize this with an amendment so that would kind of be my thoughts going forward. But
After hearing our learned attorney's explanation, I would agree with that, probably, and
All right,
another bill would be in.
Thank you, Chairman Dickey. Okay, any other members of the committee? Any questions, comments? Hearing none, what's the desire of the committee? Got a do pass? Got a second? Any discussion? Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Okay, 2 noes and the rest ayes. Okay, thank you very much. Bill passed. It's to you, Mr. Chairman Corbett. Appreciate your presentation. We're going to turn it over to the chair lady now. This meeting is adjourned.
Yeah, walk out and come in.
We'll deal with meat later on, right? So, good afternoon, members of the committee, people hearing and listening. We had a situation brought to us by Representative Corbett concerning the Okefenokee, and we just had a subcommittee meeting, and it passed with only 2 no votes. And so now this issue is before the full committee. But before we do that, I am going to say just a brief prayer. And dear Lord, we pay homage to you today. We ask for your guidance and help in making the correct decisions for the citizens of Georgia. Amen.
All right.
You're on.
Madam Chair, I can go through what the bill does and does not do, or I can take any further questions or ask for your favorable consideration. What would be the pleasure of the committee?
I believe we should give our committee members a moment to see if there are any more questions. So I'll look at the panel to see. All right, I see no more questions. This is the proper time.
Make a motion to pass.
I have heard a motion to pass. Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. That was 3 noes? All right, show of hands is good. 3 noes. Okay. So you have your bill, and all the best to you.
Thank you very much.
We stand
Madam Chair.
adjourned. So